What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. So it's almost only 2 months left until election day, and the last primaries for the Senate is about to unfold. So of course my eyes now are completely focused on the Massachusetts Senate primary between Joe Kennedy III and Ed Markey. It looks, based on the polls, that Markey is going to pull it off and survive this primary challenge. He has been leading steadily lately, even though Kennedy had a lead earlier on. I'm not really too optimistic about that. I thought it would be cool to have a Kennedy back in the Senate. And right now, they have opened this website to see the live results, but no results have come in yet. But they are going to pretty soon. So certainly something that I would urge everyone to keep an eye out. Of course, both of them are going to win. But if Kennedy wins, the Democrats will have a quite useful presidential candidates in a couple of years, so that's certainly interesting from my point of view. So the Senate map is starting to shape up. It is soon going to not to be final. I'm going to make my final Senate prediction in an upcoming video. Right now, you know what the balance is. It's 53 for the Republicans. They also have the vice president, and 47 for the Democrats if you include the two independents that caucus with the Democrats. Now, there is certainly a lot of red on this map. The biggest oddity probably is Alabama, which is blue. Of course, it's going to change. But anyway, let's go to the Senate prediction map. Now, I'm just going to make this now, not to make my final prediction, but to tell you where I think things are at this moment. Now, I have already filled in the states that are unquestionably safe. But that does not mean I filled in all the safe states. For example, I think Alabama is going to be safe red, Kentucky, South Carolina, and yes, even Kansas, with now Roger Marshall as the nominee. That state actually has a record of electing the guy who represents the biggest, I think the first district of Kansas, such as Jerry Moran, Sam Brownback, and electing them to the Senate. And of course, Alaska is going to be safe. When it comes to likely for the Republicans, I think that Texas is likely. I think that Georgia's special election has become a likely state. Likely for the Democrats. Actually forgot, I think Virginia is safe now for the Democrats, but New Hampshire certainly is a likely state, and New Mexico is likely. And to be honest, the polls in Arizona have been really bad for the Republicans, so I'm actually going to place it as likely right now too. I mean, I've said before that I believe that the polls overrepresent the Democrats because people who vote for Trump is probably also going to vote for Martha McSally. But polls are not really looking very good for Trump in that state either. So, yeah, I'm not going to argue too much with them. Okay, so let's go to the leaning states. I still think that Iowa is leaning for the Republicans. I think that the Georgia normal election with David Perdue is leaning GOP. And I think that the Montana election is leading the GOP's way. I know that Steve Bullock is a very formidable challenger, but if you look at the results back in 2016, the state actually voted for Trump by 20 points, and it was quite similar in states like Kansas and Missouri and Indiana. So when some pundits actually place these states as only likely GOP, you know, it's not going to happen. It's going to be safe, no matter what. But leaning states for the Democrats, I definitely think that Colorado is leaning to flip the Democrats' way. It is a state where Republicans have been doing very poorly lately, except from Cory Gardner's election in 2014. Before that, it was a quite bad streak for the GOP in that state. I also think that Michigan is still leaning the Democrats' way, but that could be a big upset because of the hidden Trump vote and John James' appeal among Trump voters and black voters. And I think that Minnesota is just leaning now. Now, certainly things have evolved in Minnesota, and I don't think that that state is very baked in for the Democrats anymore. Jason Lewis pulled 3 points behind Tina Smith in the latest poll, and that is certainly something that he can catch up with, and of course I don't trust the polls so much. So certainly he can be underestimated, but as the polls show, Smith still has the edge, so we'll have to wait and see. Now, North Carolina and Maine are always going to be the closest states in my view. So right now I'm going to give Maine to the GOP and North Carolina to the Democrats. And the reasoning for that is mostly the polls, which I trust a bit more in North Carolina than in Maine, because in North Carolina you have Tom Tillis, who is not very popular, and you have sort of a blue dog Democrat running against him, who is polling ahead. In Maine, on the other hand, you have a liberal Democrat and a very moderate New England Republican. And I believe that, again, people who say they don't like her in the polls might also include conservatives, Trump people, who are going to vote for her over a Democrat no matter what. So I do currently stand at 51 for the Republicans and 49 for the Democrats. Certainly there are other opportunities. The Democrats could, if they did very well, they could flip Maine or even Georgia. And the Republicans could certainly win in North Carolina, Michigan, even Minnesota and Colorado, in my view. This is however how I view the entire Senate map right now. So it's going to be exciting to see how it changes. Will it stay this way? I don't know. And I have no idea. But 2 months until election day. It's all tightening up. The campaign is starting for real, with Biden traveling to Pennsylvania. Trump is traveling also. But that's all I have for you guys today. Please like this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.